Hello, Michael Bulley here at ICSC Recon 2014, the ICSC Big Retail event in Vegas. I'm here with Adam Hooper, CEO of RealCrowd. Adam, how's it going today?
It's going great. It's just another great year at the show.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to see you here today, and there's a lot of excitement about retail now in the marketplace, and also about crowdfunding. And one thing I've learned from talking to some folks that are out there raising money and investing deals, they're not really quite sure how crowdfunding is working in commercial real estate right now. And tell us, right now with the Jobs Act and where things stand right now, you can advertise on the internet and other ways for accredited investors.
Sure.
For larger real estate deals now, right?
That's correct. So there was two parts of the Jobs Act. The first part that is enacted now, it's called Title II, and what that allows is general solicitations. So before, I couldn't come up to a random person here at ICSC, tell them that we're raising money for a specific asset. We'd have to have a business relationship with them first. That's gone now. So the internet, TV, radio, newspaper, any media you want, you can advertise those deals. It comes with some additional restrictions, so now only accredited investors can participate. So as before, you could have up to 35 non-accredited but sophisticated investors. So you have to have accredited investors now. The second part of the Jobs Act, which is Title III, which is non-accredited crowdfunding, that's not allowable yet. So probably sometime later, third quarter, fourth quarter this year, it would allow non-accredited investors to participate in the same fashion.
And those non-accredited investors, when that is allowed, do those have to be transactions under $1 million?
It is correct, yes.
Okay.
There's $1 million per year per company cap when you go with a non-accredited crowdfunding route.
Okay, so the accredited investor route that you can do right now is probably going to be more popular in commercial real estate, since
Right.
the transactions are typically pretty large.
That's correct.
And one thing I find interesting about crowdfunding and investing online is, people over the last several years have gotten very comfortable investing in the stock market online, doing a lot of things online. So what do you think about the future of crowdfunding and commercial real estate and its growth potential, and what do you hear from, say, the angel investors who are investing in companies like yours? What do they think about the future?
Yeah, it's exciting. If you think 15, 20 years ago, who would have thought you'd be able to go buy a stock online? And then E-Trade came along, and now you've got Scottrade, TD Ameritrade. It's just kind of how things happen now. There's a slew of wealth management firms that are online now. Their whole interface is online, so you're not talking to a stockbroker, you're not talking to a wealth advisor. You go to the website, put your money in, and it happens. So I think we're in the crowdfunding space and online syndication. We're really in the very, very beginning of what's going to be a big industry. We've in the last 9 months, we've had $320 million of property run through our platform. That's hard to ignore. I think we're getting really early. We're really excited about where it's going to go, and as you said, with accredited investors, you can raise as much money as you want from as many investors as possible. So really, the sky's the limit in terms of deals that we can do.
Okay, so investors can invest online, and they can do as a small amount of money as how much? About $5,000?
Yeah. So the investments on our site, the real estate operator picks their minimum. Okay. It's been anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000. Most are in that $10,000 to $25,000 range.
Okay. And what property types are you seeing run through your system, and which ones tend to do well?
We've done a little bit of everything. So we've got some retail, we've done office, industrial, multifamily, all institutional quality. So everything's $10 million and above. We haven't done any single family or resi. Retail has been really well. We actually launched a retail fund, so a single tenant net lease fund, which has always been the darling of the real estate world. Great response. We had about $750,000 funded in 3 days. So retail is really well. Multifamily performs really well. And I think anybody that's any property type that people can understand easily is really what people are looking for. And so, the retail investor, not retail property, but the retail mom and pop investor, it comes down to who's their partner, who are they investing with the real estate operator, and then what are the returns going to be cash on cash yield. That's what most folks are looking for, is a way to get to yield right now in the market.
That's right. And Adam, what would you say to investors who are concerned about the sponsor and they're investing online? What tips would you give them about picking opportunities and transactions, and to look at that sponsor? Because sometimes the deal's important, but also who's handling and who's managing that investment is really one of the big benefits of investing with a sponsor. So any tips for investors there?
Yeah, it's, look for specialists. So people that have, experience in that product type, that are a specialist in that product type. Local operators usually have a better handle on the market. Some bigger companies, regional operators. Look at the track record, look at their backgrounds, get comfortable with them. A lot of what we do is our job is to pick the best real estate operators so that investors coming on the website can trust that we're doing that diligence up front to make sure that these are qualified real estate operators. But yeah, getting to know who the partners are and their backgrounds and their track record is very important.
Right. And I guess if they want to know what's going on about the sectors and what's going on in the industry, they can watch the Commercial Real Estate Show,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely they can.
And then what about sponsors? So, it's been in a world where sponsors of new development and existing properties have gone to friends and family. They've gone to institutional investors. What do you say to them to encourage them to look at your platform? What are the advantages for the sponsor?
That's great. So the friends and family pool, it's inefficient. You can only go back to the well so many times, so you can be a victim of your own success. So you do 5 or 6 great deals, you got 5 or 6 more lined up, but all of a sudden your pool's tapped out. So what's great about our platform is we expand that pool of friends and family capital to thousands. So our last deal we submitted to 17,000 people. So it takes the traditional mechanics of a friends and family capital raise, but brings it online, makes it far more efficient, and now expands that audience to numbers that you'd never be able to reach before. And I think what we're going to see is individual networks, and that's how real estate has usually worked. Everybody has their individual networks of 50 to 200 or 500 investors, and what we're doing is we're aggregating all of that in one central platform. So it's very powerful to have all those investors on tap in one place that you can access literally with the click of a button.
Well, it sounds like it's much more efficient. And how about the cost for raising funds through your platform? Would you say it's more expensive or less expensive than the old style of friends and family?
Far, far less expensive. So we just charge a flat fee to the operators to access the platform. Compared to the alternatives out there, which are private REITs, non-traded REITs, there's some pretty hefty fees that can get baked into there. So we don't charge the investors any fees. We charge no asset management fees. We don't charge or promote. Our goal is to bring efficiency to that whole system. So we work with the operators. It's more of an enterprise SaaS level agreement. The operator uses the platform. The investors come right into their deals, and those new relationships are the operators.
And geographically, you're all over the country, right?
Correct. Yeah, we've done San Francisco, LA, Washington, D.C., Alabama, Colorado, Arizona. It's been pretty good smattering across the country.
All right, and now you're out here in Vegas at ICSC Recon. So what's your mission here, and how's it gone so far?
Main mission is just to spread the word. I think there's still some confusion or education that we have to do about the space, accredited versus non-accredited, that $1 million cap versus not. A lot of education is our primary goal, but we're here to meet a lot of great operators and hopefully pick up a few investors along the way as well.
All right, that's great. So if you're at ICSC, come by and visit them. And if you're not, what's your website?
It's realcrowd.com. And if you're an operator, you can go to domoredeals.com.
Domoredeals.com. Adam, thanks for joining us today.
Good to see you.
Michael Bull for Recon 14.
The Commercial Real Estate Show is brought to you by Atlanta Office Liquidators, new and used furniture liquidators, France Media, publications and conferences, Florida International University, Real Crowd, and Bull Realty Commercial Brokerage, a great place to do business. For more information on these companies or to access additional podcasts, videos, or blogs, visit commercialrealestateshow.com.